Yo, what's the good word? I'd like to welcome you to this latest episode of The Mind of Beretta. As you well know, this is your man, the aforementioned Beretta. And as always, you know how to get in touch with me. You know how to get through Instagram and Twitter on Beretta Beats. Shout out to Spreaker once again for hosting my humble podcast. And with that, I guess it's time for the mea culpa part of this program. I'm a degenerate. I know I'm a degenerate. I also know I'm a hypocrite. But what's amazing with all that is that I am completely and totally self-aware of those two facts. And I guess where I'm at in my life right now, I guess I really don't have a problem with fully admitting to God and country and everybody that listens to this podcast, and most importantly myself, that I'm a degenerate and I'm a hypocrite. To which I submit to you these set of facts. And while I'm taking this slight detour from what I normally would talk about, or the normal things that pop into my mind, most notably anything political or anything music or sports related or anything like that, it is actually tied into all of those, and usually everything that, everything that happens to circle around in my mind on a daily basis. So the first thing is I'm a degenerate. So of course, as I'm wont to do from time to time, I like to give you a definition of the word degenerate. Definition number 2, lacking some property, order, or distinctness of structure previously or usually present in particular. Now, I'm choosing that particular definition of the word degenerate purposely because I am the first one to tell you that I have some really, and I'm trying to find the right words to describe this. I have a really bad problem sometimes with saying things and doing things that I know are, I'm not going to say wrong, I'm going to say wrong-headed or wrong-minded. And when I say wrong-headed or wrong-minded is that maybe the thing that I do is with the best of intentions, but sometimes it isn't the right thing to do. And so let me just describe a conversation that I've had on several occasions. And I gotta be honest with you. This is something that through a little bit of research, through thinking of my own beliefs, and other conversations with other individuals, I still haven't come to a satisfactory answer or a satisfactory resolution. Well, nah, you know what? I'm not going to talk about that one. I'm going to let that alone for another particular episode. But trust me, it's a good one, and it's really controversial. It's not like it's a hot take or anything, but I really do have a strong opinion towards it. So I'll go in this direction then. You know how sometimes you got that one person that you cool with and you see them kind of going in a wrong direction, or maybe they're going in a direction in their life or in some particular endeavor that they're in, and they're moving in a direction where you can kind of see that they're going to hit that proverbial brick wall, and it's going to hurt, and it's going to mess up a lot of things that they've been trying to do. And you actually see that the way that they're moving towards a positive, good, and righteous goal, but at the same time, they're going about it in a way that might cause them more harm than good. Well, see, I'm that type of person that will look at you, see that you're going down a wrong path, and will kind of pull you off to the side like, hey, that might not be that might not be the right way to do this particular thing or whatnot. And just on the sound of that right there, that sounds like, well, hey, hell, that's what you're supposed to do. I mean, if that's your people, then you want what's best for them. So, I mean, of course, you would want to help them, and you want to make sure that they don't get themselves, I should say, into a particularly bad spot. Well, not me. I normally would do that, but sometimes I'm not exactly the best person to want to do that, because, hey, sometimes my situations aren't the best, and that kind of rings as, oh yeah, that's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black. You trying to tell me don't move in this situation or you might mess something up, but yet your stuff messed up too. Yeah, that's me. I mean, I'm sorry. I just know that in some ways, I don't want to see anybody else do the same stupid stuff I've done. I don't want to see anybody else go down that same path that I did, knowing all the pitfalls and knowing all of the struggles and really how hard it is to come back from certain things, that life just brings to you. Unfortunately, like I said, no, I'm not that dude. I will tell you, if you look like you are operating in a manner that's gonna get you in trouble, I'm gonna tell you to slow down. even if that means you gonna cuss me out, even if that means we gonna get into a fist fight. I mean, I can perfectly remember this. God rest the dead, my nephew Snoop. I remember being outside my backyard and me and him literally going to blows because of some craziness he was trying to do. And I'm like, bruh, that ain't cool. That ain't right. It's just not right. And you know you're doing it for the right reasons, but it turns out it affects a lot of people. And to be dead ass honest with you, I know what I was doing was right. And I know that, I mean, well, look, it's too damn late for me to say I'm sorry now because unfortunately he left this earth way too quickly. And even though we were cool, we didn't have any bad blood or anything like that. Because of how my job was at that particular time, I really didn't get to see him that much because I was always out of town on business and whatnot. And, you know, I never really got a chance to sit down and kick it with him before he was taken from us. And I mean, I don't even know if I've even expressed this to wifey or his mother or anything like that, but I really regret, and that's a word that I don't take lightly because anybody that knows me knows that I steadfastly refuse to say that I regret that I've done anything in my life. Because if you're in a position to where you feel like you regret something, that means you shouldn't have done it in the first place. But in this particular case, yeah, I regret the fact that we had those words and we got physical. I mean, I really do regret that. I mean, because, I mean, all in all, he was a good kid. And even though I may have not agreed with the path that he was trying to go down, I mean, I can't hate him for it. I couldn't, I can't fault anyone for trying to figure out their way in this crooked world. As it was told to me when I was a young kid, never hate on anybody that's trying to get money. They may get that money illegally. They may get that money in some underhanded way. They may get that money in a way that is hurting another human being. But never hate on anybody trying to get money. Because unfortunately, in this messed up world that we're living in right now, it seems like that phrase that I heard on a movie once, cash is king. And I really feel like I'm a degenerate because of that. Because I always want to try to do the right thing. I mean, I guess that's what we all strive to do. No matter what your spiritual leaning is, I'm quite sure that in every spiritual text that exists, there is some part that basically says you try to do your best. You do your best to do right and do good and walk in the path of righteousness. Yeah, I get that. But at the same time, as my mama once told me, you got to let grown folks be grown. And I wouldn't have been me. I wouldn't have been the type of person that I am if I didn't speak upon that particular situation with my nephew. But at the same time, I do feel a little bit of regret on how it played out. Especially when there are some times where I may not have done the most ethical thing in that pursuit of getting the almighty dollar, which is probably my problem. Well, I mean, I could say that that's probably 85 to 95% of this entire world's problem, is that they're willing to do certain things that they really shouldn't do for money or for power or for some sort of advantage over another person. I guess that would make me a hypocrite. But don't think for a single second that there isn't another person on the face of this earth that can't be called a hypocrite. Yeah, I've done some things, but I'm going to leave that in the past. I'm just at this point right now where I can openly admit to you that sometimes I am a hypocrite, but in the things that I say and in the things that I do, I really do try to do them with the best intentions. And so with that said, the last thing that I want to talk about, I'm going to keep this kind of short this particular week, but you want to talk about hypocrite. How about we have an open and honest conversation about Colin Kaepernick? Now, once again, you can reach me via Twitter and via Instagram. And so I really want to have an open and honest conversation. Black, white alike. I'm really trying to understand how an entire country of people, half of those people that genuinely believe that what Colin Kaepernick did was almost tantamount to a high crime and a misdemeanor against this here country, the United States of America, and how the other half of this country feels like he was expressing a protected right that the other half of the country that thinks he's committed high crimes and misdemeanors actually fought for and is enshrined in the Bill of Rights to the Constitution that y'all so-called patriots want to hold up as this is the standard, this is how we should live this is how we should run our country, the founding fathers, blah, blah, blah. Sissy, forgive me. You bullshit. Because if we have what that is called the First Amendment, the right to free speech, and you have a person that has not committed any crimes, has not disrupted anything, any type of gathering. Listen, when he kneeled down during the national anthem, did that stop the national anthem? No. Did that cause the television networks that was televising the game to take pause and stop their filming of the proceedings at that particular time? No. Did that stop Donald Trump from being elected president of the United States? No. Did it stop y'all from talking all that stuff about Hillary's emails or lack thereof or whatever particular? You get what I'm saying. No, it didn't stop anything. But yet, you won't let this man, and when I say you, I mean you, the owners of the NFL, you won't let this man get a shot at pursuing his lifelong dream of being a quarterback in the National Football League. I'm going to call shenanigans on y'all on that. It's already been called shenanigans on y'all. You can't even deny it anymore. But here's the problem. When you have people that actually say, okay, we're going to take up this cause where Colin Kaepernick left it. We are going to protest. We are going to boycott the NFL. We are not going to watch the games. We are not going to go to any of the venues. We are not going to buy any NFL related merchandise. You've even heard people say, we're not even going to frequent any sports bars that show NFL games on television. And you mean to tell me, from what I've seen here in my humble and equally prejudiced home of Cincinnati, Ohio, there's not too many people talking about protesting because they want to see what the hell the Bengals are going to do. And they're going to want to see what Andy Dalton is going to do. Is he going to crap or is he going to get off the pot? Now, I humbly ask this question. Does that make a person that says in their voice and likes and loves 100,000 separate posts on social media about, yeah, boycott the NFL, put your black fist up in the air, but yet you're not actively participating in the boycott? Does that make you a hypocrite? Does that make me a hypocrite for even talking about the NFL? And, oh, by the way, the voice you're hearing belongs to a man that is one of the bigger Cincinnati Bengals fans. Good or bad, hell or high water, success or failure, and we know it's been a lot of failures. I'm gonna ride or die with the Bengals. But I'm gonna be that one that actually says no. I won't participate in the NFL. I won't watch any of the games. I won't buy any NFL merchandise. And yeah, I had a lot of people laugh at me about that. Just saying I'm a fool for denying what I like and what I love for a particular protest. I mean, my brother and I had this conversation earlier today, and he just looked at me and said, just think about it. you have how many other black NFL players you're going to, with this boycott, if people actually stopped going to the games and actually stopped buying the merchandise and actually made the owners feel it where they would most pay attention to it in their wallets. What do you think the effect is going to be on those other black players that's in the league right now? You mean to tell me you want to sacrifice all that for one person? By him asking that question, does that make him a hypocrite? That's my brother, and I'm going to tell you no. That doesn't make him a hypocrite, because he actually does bring up a good point. But with that point, I also counter with this. So what will it take to make these NFL owners see that we recognize that all you're trying to run, you call it the National Football League, but let's be real about it. It's actually more of a slave plantation. And yeah, I said it. It's more reminiscent of a slave plantation where the owners get to dictate whatever it is they want for the league to do in conjunction with the head of the NFL. That would be one Roger Goodell. And the players, which, oh, by the way, look at your rosters, ladies and gentlemen. It's a really good percentage of African American players that are on these teams. And they're basically saying to them, those black players, for the money that we pay you, we don't want you to do anything but play football and keep your mouth shut. Now, of course, the first reaction somebody's going to come at me with is, no, they're not actually saying that. You're wrong. You're out of line for saying this. Oh, am I? I think this is evidenced by the very situation of what one Colin Kaepernick is going through right now. Because just think of this for a second. If you were in Kaepernick's shoes and you wanted to make a statement, and that was the only way that you felt that your statement would be heard by the most number of people and would garner the most effect, and you knew that there was a chance that it would come back to prevent you from being able to play the game that you love, that you work so hard for, would you actually sit there and make a conscious decision to do that? Well, evidently, that will depend on the level of, what's the word that I want to use? The level of desire in an individual's heart and mind and soul, if they really feel like they believe in that particular cause, or they feel like they believe in that particular issue so strongly as Colin Kaepernick did. He felt strong enough to, he felt strong in his convictions enough to say, listen, I know what might happen, but I'm going to do this anyway. There's nothing for him to be a hypocrite about. The question is that would you take that stand. If you didn't take that stand, would people call you a hypocrite? If you then turned around and said, no, police brutality isn't right. That's a question that you have to answer within yourself. But I'm just going to speak for me. If I was in Kaepernick's situation, I would have done the exact same thing. Would I have expected to see the very individuals that I'm taking this stand for basically, and I'm going to put this out here as plain as I can. Basically, the black people that are saying, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and just watch. I mean, what's my one protest gonna do? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying, for me, I think that's hypocritical if a person rails and rails and rails about a particular issue, but won't actually do the hard work of actually protesting or actually organizing other people to get out there and make our cases heard so we can try to affect change. I'm that person that'll do it. You want to tell me I'm full of crap? Go ahead. But somebody's got to do it. Colin Kaepernick said, I'm going to do it. There were two track stars in the 60s, or was it the 70s? I'm not quite sure. That put their fists up in the air with black gloves on them. They felt like somebody had to do it. Muhammad Ali said, somebody's got to do it. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, back then he was known as Lou Alcindor, he said, somebody's got to do it. And so I challenge you. I challenge you, white, black, Latino, whoever. And it's not even necessarily so much as far as the police brutality issue, although that's going to be an issue for the rest of our lives, I suppose. But ask yourself that question. If it's something that you truly believe in and you see it's not right, are you going to stand up and say something, or are you going to be the hypocrite? I'm out.
It's your man, Beretta.